And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham and Isaac, went into Amalek, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in the land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, and my statutes, and my laws. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And the men of the place asked him of his wife. And he said, She is my sister. For he feared to say, She is my wife. Lest, said he, the men of the place shall kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, and Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah, his wife. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, Behold, of a surety she is thy wife. And how sayest thou, She is my sister? And Isaac turned unto him, because I said, Lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, What is this thou hast done unto us? One of the people might likely have lain with thy wife, and thou shouldst have brought guiltness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He that touched this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. And Isaac sowed in that land and received in the same year an hundredfold. And the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great and went forward and grew until he became very great. He had possession of flocks and possessions of herds and great store of servants. And the Philistines envied him. For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art mightier than we. And Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Gar and dwelt there. And Isaac did again the wells of water which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father. For the Philistines had stopped there after the death of Abraham, and he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac herdmen, saying, the water is ours. And he called the name of the well Isaac, because they strove with him. And they digged another well and strove for that also. And he called the name of it Sibnah. And he removed from thence and digged another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, for now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up from thence to Beersheba. And the Lord appeared unto him the same night and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thee seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he built an altar there, and called upon the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there, and there Isaac's servant digged a well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Isaac, one of his friends, and Philocon, the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you? And they said, we saw certainly that the Lord was with thee. And we said, let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee, that thou wilt do us no hurt. And we have not touched thee, and we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of the Lord. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. And they rose up betimes in the morning, and swore one to another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, we have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Bera the Hittite, and Bashmath, the daughter of Elah the Hittite, which were a grief of mine unto Isaac and to Rebekah. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here I am. And he said, behold now, I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out of the field, and take me some vision, and make me savor meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for vision, and bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father spoke unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me vision, and make me a savory meat that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now thereof, my son, obey my voice, according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, and he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said unto Rebekah his mother, Behold, Israel my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched, and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment to her oldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her youngest son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hand, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread, which she had prepared, unto the hand of her son Jacob. And he came up to his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my vision, and thy soul may be blessed. And Isaac said unto his son, How is that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy God brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son, is it or not? And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, and the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were very hairy, and his brother Esau's hands, so he blessed him. And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's vision, and my son may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord has blessed. Therefore God give me thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of the corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that cursed thee, and blessed be he that blessed thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac, his father, that Israel his brother came in from his hunting, and he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise, and eat of his son's vision, and that shall so may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Israel. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that has taken vision, and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Israel heard the words of his father, and cried with a great, exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subsidy, and have taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Israel, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and he has brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine I have sustained him, and with what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Israel said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Israel lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwellers shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew and of heaven and above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Israel hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Israel said in his heart, The day of mourning for my father are at hand. They will, I slay my brother Jacob. And these words of Israel, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her youngest son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Israel as touching thee. Don't comfort himself, purpose to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice and arise, flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran, and tarry with him a few days until thy brother's fear return away, until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forgot that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I deprive also of you both in one day? And Rebekah said unto Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as which are of the daughters of the land, what shall my life do me? And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to the Padan Aram, to the house of Bethel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. And God also bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, and thou mayest be a multitude of people. And give thee a blessing of Abraham, and to thy seed with thee, and thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which God gave unto Abraham. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to the Pernod unto Laban, son of Bethuel, and Saran, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's and Esau's mother. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, he sent him away to Padanaram to take him a wife from thence, and that as he blessed him, he gave him charge, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife of daughters of Canaan. And that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and was gone to Padanaram. And Esau seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went Esau unto Ishmael, and took unto the wives which he had Manoah, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, and the daughter and the sister of Nebat to his wife. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went towards Haran. And he lighted up a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham thy father, and thy God of Isaac. The land whereas thou layest, to thee will give it, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be as dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places, whither thou goest, and will bring thee against into this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken of thee. And Jacob awakened out of his sleep, and he said, Surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, How dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had put for his pillow and set it up for a pillar and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel. And the name of the city was called Luz at the first. And Jacob vowed, saying, if God will be with me and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to the Father's house in peace, they shall the Lord be of my God. And this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be God's house. And all of that thou shalt give me, I will surely give the tenth unto thee. Then Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there was 3 flocks of sheep laying by. For out of that well they watered the flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And then were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in his place. And Jacob said unto them, my brethren, whence be ye? And they said, O Haran are we? And he said unto them, know ye Lamech, the son of Noah? And they said, we know him. And he said unto them, is he well? And they said, he is well. And behold, Rachel is his daughter, cometh with the sheep. And he said, lo, it is yet high day, neither it is time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, we cannot until all the flocks be gathered together. And they, until they rose the stone from the well's mouth, then we watered the sheep. And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came and it came to pass when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went there and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and the water, the flocks of Laban, his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob's, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to the house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said unto him, surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, shalt thou there serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the youngest was Rachel. Leah was eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well favored. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, the younger daughter. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go into her. And Laban gathered together all of the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him, and he went into her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah and his maid for a handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, what is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? For wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? And Laban said, it must not be so done in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service thou which thou shalt serve with me, yes, 7 other years. And Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel and his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah and his handmaid to be her handmaid. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him, yet 7 other years. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, that Rachel was burned. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, and surely the Lord has looked upon my affliction. Now, therefore, my husband will love me. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, because the Lord has heard that I was hated, he has before given me this son also. And she called his name Simon. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi. And she conceived again and bare a son. And she said, now I will praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah, and left barren. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister, and said unto Jacob, give me children, or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, am I in God's deed, who has withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah and handmaid to wife, and Jacob went unto her. And Bilhah conceived, and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God has judged me and has also heard my voice and has given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan. And by her Rachel May conceived again and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, with great wrestling I have a wrestle with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. And Leah saw that she had left barren. She took Lappa her maid and gave her Jacob to wife. And Lappa made bear Jacob a son. And Leah said, a troop cometh, and she called his name God. And Zilpah Leah made bear Jacob a second son, and Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found Medrix in the field and brought him until his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy sons Medrix. And she said unto her, it is a small matter that thou hast taken my husband. And wilt thou take away my sons Medrix also? And Rachel said, therefore she lie with thee tonight for my son Medrix. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, thou must come into me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's Medrix. And he lay with her that night. And God hearkens unto Leah, and she conceived and bare Jacob, the fifth son. And Leah said, God has given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Asher. And Leah conceived again and bare Jacob, the sixth son. And Leah said, God has endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. And afterwards she bare a daughter, and called her name Dinah. And God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her, and opened her womb. And she conceived, and bare a child, and bare a son, and said, God has taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, and said, the Lord shall add me to another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had born Joseph, and Jacob said unto Laban, send me away, that I may go unto my own place, into my country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go, for though thou knowest my service, which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord has blessed me for thy sake. And he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. And he said unto him, Thou knowest how I have served thee, and how they cattled with me. For it was little which thou hast before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude. And the Lord has blessed thee since my coming. And now when shall I provide for my own house also? And he said, What shall I give thee? And Jacob said, Thou shalt not give me anything if thou wilt do this thing for me. I will again feed and keep thy flock. I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before thy face. Everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats and brown among the sheep, and shall be counted stolen with me. And Laman said, Behold, I would it might be according to thy word. And he removed that day the he goats that were ring straight and spotted, and all the she goats that were speckled and spotted, and everyone that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them unto the hand of his sons. And he said 3 days, journey betwixt himself and Jacob. And Jacob fed the rest of Laman's flock. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar, and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and peeled white straights in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had peeled before the flocks in the gutters, in the watering troughs, when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle, rings, straights, speckles, and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the faces of the flocks toward the ring straights, and all the brown in the flocks of Laman. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laman's cattle. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laman, and the stronger Jacob's. And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and maidservants, and men servants, and camels, and asses. And he heard the words of Laman's sons, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's has he gotten all this glory. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laman, and behold, it was not towards him as well before. And the Lord said unto Jacob, Return unto the land of thy fathers and thy kindred, and I will be with thee. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not towards me as before, but the God of my father has been with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father, and your fathers have deceived me, and changed my wages 10 times. But God suffered him not to hurt me. If he said thus, the speckle shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckles. And if he said thus, the ringstrut shall be thy heir, then bear all the cattle ringstrakes. Thus God has taken away the cattle of your father and given them to me. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up my eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ringstraked, speckled, and gristled. And the angel of God spoke unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here I am, here am I. And he said, Lift up thine eyes and see all the rams which leaped upon the cattle are ringstraked, speckled, and gristled. For I have seen all that Laman does unto thee. I am the God of Bethlehem, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out of this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he has sold us and has quite devoured also our money. For all the riches which God hath taken from our father, that is ours and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels. And he carried away all his cattle and all his goods, which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Panama, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laman the Syrian, in that he told him not that he fled. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river, and set his face towards the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laman on the third day that Jacob was fled. And he took his brethren with him, and pursued after him 7 days' journey. And they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And God came to Laman the Syrian in a dream by night, and said unto him, Take heed that thou speak not to Jacob, either good or bad. Then Laman overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laman with him, brethren, pitched in the mount of Gilead. And Laman said to Jacob, What hast thou done? And thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughter as captives taken with the sword. Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly, and steal away from me, and didst not tell me that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with songs, and with tabor, and with harp, and hast not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Thou hast not done foolishly in so doing. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. But the God of your father spoke unto me yesternight, saying, Take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. And now thou thus wouldest need to be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house. Yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? And Jacob answered and said to Laman, Because I was afraid. For I said, Peradventure thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. With whomsoever thou findest thy God, let him not live. Before our brethren discern that what is thine with me, and take it to thee. And Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. And Laman went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservant tents, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images, and put them into the camel's furniture, and sat upon them. And Laman searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my lord, that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched, but found not the images. And Jacob was wroth, and chose with Laman. And Jacob answered and said to Laman, What is my trespass? What is my sin, that thou hast so hotly pursued after me, whereas thou hast searched all my stuff? What hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both. This 20 years have been with thee. Thy asses and thy she goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of beasts I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it, of my hand didst thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was in the day that brought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from my eyes. Thou hast I been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy two daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle, and thou hast changed my wages 10 times. Except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and fear of Isaac, had been with me. Surely thou hast sent me away now empty. God has seen my afflictions and the labors of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight. And Laban answered and said unto Jacob, These daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto their children which they have borne? Now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. And Jacob took a stone and set up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren, Gather stones. And they took stones and made an heap, and they did eat thereupon the heap. And Laban called it Jeshana, and Jacob called it Gilead. And Laban said, This heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore was the name of it called Gilead. And Mizpah, for he said, The Lord watch between me and thee when we are absent one from another. And thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take otherwise besides my daughters. No man is with us. See, God is witness betwixt me and thee. And Laban said to Jacob, Behold this heap, and behold this pillar, which I have cast betwixt me and thee. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. The God of Abraham and the God of Noah, the God of their father, judge betwixt us. And Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac. And Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount. And early in the morning, Laban rose up and kissed his son and his daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed, and returned unto his place. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, This is God's host. And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau, his brother, and to the land of Seir, the country of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau. Thy servant Jacob says, Thus, I have sojourned with Laban, and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and asses and flocks, and men servants and women servants. And I have sent to tell my Lord that I may find grace in thy sight. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, We came to thy brother Esau, and he came to meet thee, and 400 men with him. And Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed. And he divided the men that was with him, and the flocks and herds, and the camels, into two bands, and said, If Isaac come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape. And Jacob said, O God of my father Abram, and God of my father Isaac, the Lord which saidest unto me, Return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and all the truth which thou hast shewed unto thy servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become two bands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, thou from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me, and the mother with the children. And thou saidest, I will surely do thee, God, good, and make thee seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present of Esau his brother, 200 she goats, and 20 he goats, 200 ears, and 20 rams, 30 mixed camels and their coats, 40 kinds, and 10 bulls, 20 she asses, and 10 foals. And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, When Ezra my brother menaced thee, and asked thee, saying, Who art thou, and whither goest thou, and who are these before thee? Then thou shalt say, They be thy servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my Lord Ezra, and behold, also he is behind us. And so commanded he the second and the third, and all that followed the droves, saying, O this manner shall ye speak unto Esau when ye find him. And say ye, moreover, behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face. Pre-adventure he will accept of me. So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and 2 woman servants and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jacob. And he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that the prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, and he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day of breaking. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince thou power with God and with men, and has prevailed. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. And as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose upon him, and he helped upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew, wrench, strength, which is upon the hollow of the thigh, unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the soonest that shrank.